Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our Ask a Dragon series. I'm Andrew. I head up marketing, and I've got our dragon expert, Kata, the director of business development here at Dragon Innovation. So we're often approached by companies looking to expedite their delivery based off of the schedule milestones they have or timelines driven by the holidays. So Kata, if I come to you today with a working prototype, complete BOM CAD package, could I ship by the holiday season?
So the joke about this question is always the holiday season of which year. And in my role, I talk with a lot of companies in terms of customer exploration and how Dragon might be able to support them on the path to mass production. And because a lot of our customers are making consumer electronics products, the holiday season is it's a big forcing factor oftentimes to really drive sales for the customers. So there's a very logical business reason, multiple business reasons why our customers will need to ship in advance of the holidays. So what's difficult is when companies are coming to us or we're talking about timelines in August, September, October about shipping for the holidays or in time for the holidays of the same year, it's way too late. So in general, the answer is unfortunately you can't. And that is talking about a mass production process. So possibly in small volumes using hand assembly techniques. We joke, but some companies are very scrappy and, will throw a big barbecue or some other type of party, invite over all their friends and pay them back in really good food, beverages, etc. You might be able to hand assemble the number of units you need to deliver. That said, it's not going to be a professional level mass production line. So in no particular order, there are a bunch of factors that go into why you're not going to be able to ship by the holidays this year. Number one is CMs are at capacity. So like everyone else, there are multiple companies. You're basically competing for space in the factories on their lines to produce your products because everyone wants to ship in time for the holidays. And so even though you might be approaching CMs for production, for mass production, who are the right fit for, based on your product requirements, specs, the testing equipment they need to have on site, the volumes you're looking for, et cetera, they may turn down, they may decline to bid on your project through an RFQ process because they are full. In terms of, again, rough guidelines for timelines, so walking things backwards, if you have a retail buy cycle, typically your retailers will need to receive the product. So this is like big box retail by October, so no later than October. And the reason for that is, as you may see going into retail stores, you will start to see Christmas, Hanukkah, other holiday paraphernalia and products on shelves sometimes before Halloween. So they obviously need to have those products on site. At the very least, you need to have them in your warehouse or at your 3PL, your third-party logistics provider, usually by October. Again, rough rule of thumb. If you are shipping by ocean freight, which many of you will be, that means all of your products need to be produced and tested no later than September. In order, because it can take a month or more for your products to be on the ocean. That's assuming they don't get held up at customs or anything else kind of happens on the other end. Certifications are an area to think about. So an example would be UL. UL has a several weeks long queue, and especially this year in advance of the holidays, where everyone needs new products to be tested and certified. So yes, when you are building your products, you can use pre-certified modules, so Bluetooth, for example, but you'll still need your holistic, your whole product to be certified, particularly where things like power are concerned. So things that could cause consumer death, dismemberment, houses burning down, all that really bad stuff, you do need products to be certified. So even if you're hand assembling at your friendly neighborhood barbecue and paying your friends back, those products still need to be certified before you ship to your customers. Another factor would be long lead time components. So you want to check really closely on the per component level of how long it's going to take your CM or your factory partner to receive long lead time components. The example would be, global electronic component shortage for capacitors. You cannot speed up this process. There is a shortage. I think one of the stats was that maybe not the most current release of the iPhone, but the one before that had upwards of 1,000 capacitors in every single iPhone. So that's just one example of, large companies buying up capacitors at huge scale, which means, they're not available if you just need to make 2,000. And then one other consideration, or I guess two more. One would be plastics. So if there is a plastic enclosure or other components that are plastic material in your product, and you need to cut steel tools, rough rule of thumb is plus or minus 40 business days to cut those tools and refine them, etc. If you're using soft tools, which generally are kind of, most typically would be made out of aluminum, for example, that process can be shortened a little bit, but it's not by a factor of 2 or by 50%. So, again, rough guideline is to budget 40 business days for cutting tools. So overall, there's a reason Dragon gives a rough estimate to all of our customers of 6 to 9 months from the point at which you sign the manufacturing services agreement, the MSA, with your CM partner, to when you have products rolling off the line, 6 to 9 months. That doesn't even account for things like the legal back and forth that might happen in the process of NDAs or MSAs, or if your products are held up in customs or things like that. So 6 to 9 months is assuming that everything goes perfectly, and we also know that it rarely does. So that's why the joke is, this holiday season, next holiday season, which holidays are you talking about? I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but in terms of setting expectations and being realistic about timelines, if you're coming to talk to us about picking a factory and needing products shipped by the holidays, try and do that at least 6 to 9 months, maybe even sooner, 9 to 12 months in advance of when you need those products to be in the hands of customers.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kata. And I guess rule of thumb here, do not procrastinate, people. Get on this. Otherwise, you will miss out on your holiday season. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us for the Ask a Dragon series. Again, click the CTA below and feel free to post your manufacturing questions in the forum below. We'll continue to pick these interesting and relevant questions that help benefit the community at large. And we're hoping to help educate everybody so they can get their products delivered to their stores on time for their holiday season. So thanks again, everybody.